We've put together this presentation to give you an overview of the MSW program at Westchester. Feel free to skip around or skip ahead or pause, and certainly feel free to be in touch with us if you have any questions about what you're about to hear. I want to go over with you an orientation to our MSW program, talk about your courses, field education, financial aid, tuition, and then give you some information about Westchester University at large, our campus, and our services. The MSW program here at Westchester is a top 100 program. We train our students to work from the perspective of recovery, resiliency, and capacity building. Those are themes that you're going to hear throughout all of your courses here. Our students get jobs in a range of different settings, everything from outpatient mental health, hospitals, schools, substance abuse. Some go on to be executive directors, do research, be advocates, be clinicians, do private practice, work in agencies. Starting in the fall of 2014, we'll have over 200 students. About 60 of you will be at the new Philadelphia campus. And this year has been a record number of applications. It's a highly selective process, so congratulations on being admitted. The MSW program requires students to complete 60 credits, which is 20 courses since they are 3 credits each. 51 of these credits are required, 9 are elective. These courses must be taken in sequential order. Many are prerequisites for the advanced coursework. And students must also maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout their time in the program. These 9 elective credits are 3 different courses. They can be taken in our department. They can be taken in other departments here at Westchester with our permission. And they can be transferred in from other graduate programs with our permission. This program also requires 2 year-long field placements, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. The first is a 16-hour-a-week year-long placement, and the second is 20 hours a week. One thing that's important for students to know is what the culture is like here. What's it like to be in the MSW program at Westchester? Well, what I can tell you is that we're a highly personalized program. We will work with you to support your work here, and we're going to have high expectations. What that means is that we expect professional behaviors from all students around communication, self-reflection, and accountability. We expect you to let us know when you're going to be in class. We expect you to be on time for appointments. We expect you to be reflective about your work in this program, and we expect you to be accountable, just like we expect ourselves to be accountable to you. One thing you'll notice while being here is that we have a deep commitment to social justice, human rights, and ethical practice. To that end, we expect students to understand the NASW Code of Ethics and practice wherever they are with that in mind. As the director of the program, I have a very open door policy. You're always welcome to knock on my door and absolutely interrupt me if you need me, or you can call or even text me on my cell phone. The schedule for part-time students is as follows. This fall, you'll take 2 required courses. You'll have 2 required courses also in the spring. The following year, in addition to your 2 required courses, you're going to add 16 hours of field practicum per week. That'll be for both fall and spring. The following year, you're actually going to have 3 required courses that first fall, and then you're going to have 20 hours of field practicum. That final spring, you'll have 2 required courses, and you'll keep your 20 hours of field practicum. Along the way, you have to fit in 3 electives. Most students, especially those who are part-time, do these in the summers or in our winter term, but you can also fit them in during the semester. It depends on what your schedule is like. And then in May 2017, for those of you who want to finish in 3 years, you can graduate. You certainly don't have to graduate in 3 years. Many of our students stay on 3.5 and some even 4. Field practicum. As a part-time student, what you have to remember that in your second and third years of the program, you have to have time to complete 2 year-long field placements. The first one is 16 hours a week, and that's across both fall and spring. The second one is 20 hours a week across fall and spring. We're going to start talking about this in December. It's not something you have to worry about now. But just to give you a little overview, as I said, you just stay the same placement for fall and spring. You do need some daytime availability. We have no placements that are exclusively just evenings and weekends. And frankly, that's true for all of the local social work programs. There just aren't MSWs who can supervise you in many of those settings. Sometimes, depending on your work schedule, you might be able to reduce the number of hours per week that you do your field placement if you're willing to work additional weeks. You might go, for example, over the whole winter holiday, maybe go a little bit longer in the summer. And for those of you who are part-time, it's often a question as to whether you can have it at your place of employment. And what we typically say is that one of those 2 years of field placement, you can do it at your job. You just need an MSW supervisor who is not currently your boss. Tuition at Westchester will be set this summer. As a state school, we have to wait and see what the appropriation is from our state. We anticipate a 3% increase. For graduate in-state tuition and fees, all included, it's $1,779 per 3-credit class. If you put a 3% increase on that, it's about $1,800. Overall, you can probably finish your MSW for about $36,000 if you include all the fees. If you look at what they're charging at Penn, that's about $100,000, $75,000 at Bryn Mawr, and $50,000 at Widener and Temple. Pretty good deal. If you're going to apply for federal financial aid, you're going to want to think about 4 academic terms. That's fall, winter, spring, and summer. You want to complete the 2014-2015 FAFSA, and then you want to plan out your courses. Be sure that you take into account what the tuition will be for any winter or summer electives that you may want to take. One way that students at Westchester help pay for their graduate education is through graduate assistantships. There are 3 different kinds. You can get a full-time graduate assistantship, which is full remission for your tuition. That's 20 hours a week. For 10 hours a week, you get half. And if you work 5 hours a week, the assistantship pays for 1 class. These are highly competitive, so if you want to try this, make sure you prepare your resume and your cover letter well. You're going to want to contact the departments directly. Go to the homepage of Grad Studies and look and see which departments are looking to hire graduate assistants. In our department, we typically do have a few 5-hour positions. These are not allocated until late spring, and I'll be back in touch if you are interested in one of those. So, we're at the end of this webcast. When you have questions, I want to give you some places to go. First of all, if you're wondering about your courses or your course schedule, the best thing to do is to contact Becky Vandermeulen. She's our department secretary, and really, she knows all things. Her email address is listed here. When you have questions about field placement, contact Lisa Allen, the Director of Field Education. You will have an advisor assigned by the end of the semester, and that's the person you go to talk about electives, your course schedule, in addition to Becky, and really any other concerns. As the director of the program, you're also welcome to reach out to me, either by phone, by email, or stop by when I have office hours. So as we end this webcast, what I want to leave you with are some tips for success in the program. First, make sure you set up a reasonable schedule. Graduate school is challenging. Make sure you have time for self-care. Check your WCU email regularly. We will no longer be using your personal address once classes start in the fall. Consult with your advisor as needed. Make sure you stop in and meet with your professors during office hours if you need help. So welcome to the MSW program at Westchester University. We are thrilled that you'll be joining us, and we look very forward to taking this important professional journey with you.